everybody. Kristen and Mac here, and welcome to a brand new episode of the M&K Productions podcast.
Hey, it's not just a brand new. This is episode 99.
We are 99, woo! Baby. Let's get into it. I feel like I need to hit a button and go 99, 99, 99, because we have a huge number coming up, and that's 100, folks.
The big
and we
100.
got something special planned for y'all, which Mac will reveal at the end of the show. Something that he was really looking forward to. But before we jump into that, how you doing, Mac?
I cannot complain. I'm excited for this. We got something special. You get just prepping our audience of what we're doing with 100. We're doing not one topic, but two. And I think you chose this how we would format 99. So I think you should tell the folks how we're doing this episode.
Yeah, 99 is a little bit different. So we're not talking news. We have two topics that we're talking about today. And then we have a special guest. We have the one and only Jackie K. Cooper, who will be joining us later on in the episode. But right now, thanks to the wonderful people from Paramount Pictures, they sent us copies of the latest Jonathan Majors and Glen Powell film, Devotion, a film that is based on a true story. Let me give you all a summary of the film. A pair of U.S. Navy fighter pilots who risked their lives during the Korean War and become some of the Navy's most celebrated wingmen. And one of them known as Jesse Brown. And Jesse Brown is an important figure during this time period because Jesse Brown was one of the first Navy fighter pilots to be recognized and who was African American. So I thought this was a great history lesson. I got to see this actually before it came out on Blu-ray. It's available now. Go pick it up. I actually got to see this at my local film festival, and I thought it was really good. Mac, how did you become exposed to this film?
I went to the movies. I saw the trailer, and it said Paramount Plus, so I watched it on Paramount Plus.
Yeah, it was released in theaters on November 23rd, 2022, so just around Thanksgiving. And this was at the time when,
Black Panther was out.
We just released Top Gun because Glen Powell, who's like a star and executive producer of this film, he's the one who brought this project into light. And he was just in one of the hottest movies of the year, Top Gun Maverick. And actually, Glen Powell filmed Top Gun Maverick and then went on to work on Devotion. So he brought basically all his skills that he learned from Top Gun into this film. He's kind of doing the same stuff here, what he did in Top Gun. It's still, I thought, a great story and what it does with its messaging and its themes and how it brings an important story to life. And the movie is directed by J.D. Dillard. And Dillard is known for directing some films and TV shows. He directed an episode of The Twilight Zone.
Give this man his respect. He did one of the most underrated films in Slight, which I've been recommending for people for years. Which is
I was gonna get there and mention that.
Yes, Slight is good. But what Twilight Zone episodes did he direct?
He directed the one that was season 2, episode 2, Downtime. And then he directed a couple of episodes of Two Sentence Horror Stories. He directed a film called Sweetheart, which starred Kirstie Clemons. So this is like a huge stepping stone from his career, from directing, Slight, Sweetheart, and then Devotion. That's like crazy huge. And if you like the cinematography in Top Gun Maverick, you're gonna like the cinematography here, because I really enjoyed seeing all that aerial plane stuff. I was really into that.
If I'm not mistaken, when we were talking about this before on another podcast, didn't they use the same techniques they use in Top Gun Maverick for Devotion?
Yeah.
Okay, that's why.
This film came out with some special features, which includes a navigation of the Forgotten War, which discusses a little bit detail what was going on, and then a legacy of Jesse Brown, which gives into a little bit more detail of this important figure in history. And right now, before we go into anything else, Jesse's body, he did not survive. So this is just basically his story. His body's still in North Korea, and everybody who was associated with Jesse Brown in this film is still trying to get his body back home and give him a proper memorial service. So
really?
Yeah. When I saw the film, Christine Jackson, who plays Jonathan Majors' wife in the film, said that, and I had no idea. I didn't know who on earth who this man was, and I was basically like in awe on what he did. Like, it's amazing and now inspiring who Jesse Brown was, because he did things. I don't know if we don't know if I did this for sure, but in the movie, Jonathan Majors is basically insulting himself in the film, and he's saying names of like what people had called him in the past. Can you recall that scene?
Yeah,
And I
it
thought
kind
that
of
was
reminded
really
me.
sad.
No, I liked it because it's kind of like, you know, you got to be real for a minute, because it kind of
Yeah.
reminded me of something in 42 when Harrison Ford, Branch Rickey, told Chadwick Boseman, like, hey, I need someone who has the guts not to fight back, so don't let him win. And then the part when he played against the Phillies and he went to the tunnel to have to freak out, that's what it kind of reminded me of, but this is a lot more direct.
Just before, if you guys go see Creed, check out Jonathan Majors here. There's some also great stars in it. I also knew about this film because of Joe Jonas. I wanted to put that out there.
Oh my Christ.
Yeah.
I didn't even know
Joe
he was
Jonas
in it.
was
I didn't even know he was in it until I watched it. I was like,
Joe Jonas was
brother?
posting behind the scenes stuff of it, and I was like, what is this film? And I was following this film, but didn't know what it was following. But I was just like looking at the set photos, and I was like, oh, Joe Jonas in a pilot suit with Glen Powell, sign me up. Because here's the other thing, Glen Powell and Nick Jonas also worked together in Screen Queens when that aired. So I was like, a Jonas brother and Powell again? Yes, I'm gonna watch it. I just wanted to acknowledge that. Oh, and did you know there was also a song that Joe Jonas also wrote for the film with Khalid?
Really? What was the song called?
The song is called Not Alone. So it plays at the end credits of the film. If you want to check that out, I think that's also a song that should have been recognized for award season.
Did you, when you first saw the trailer, did you think this was about the Tuskegee Airmen for a second, but you kind of like look it up and realize it wasn't? Because we did have that movie in like 2011 with Red Tails. So I kind of like, oh, is this another one with Red Tails? I didn't realize that it was a whole nother, just during the Korean War.
Yeah, because it was funny because like I thought about that right away, but at least Devotion focuses on one subject matter, and that is the relationship that Jesse Brown had with Glen Powell's character. And I should have said that earlier. Glen Powell's character's name, there's another character that's who's a real person, and that is Tom Hunter. Tom was alive and he was doing all sorts of stuff to get Jesse Brown's body home, but it really looks at their relationship together as friends. But yeah, it reminded me of, like what you said, it reminded me of Red Tails, but I enjoyed this more than Red Tails.
Really?
Yeah. Or here's the thing, I should probably go back and watch Red Tails, because all I remember is like Cuba Gooding Jr. in it.
I just know George Lucas was wanting to make that movie since the 80s.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was another thing. And then I think, from what I might be mistaken, but I'm also pulling the cast up of Red Tails. Bryan Cranston was also in it, because I was like, I think Bryan Cranston was in this, because there was a couple people who were doing promotion I remember seeing. And also, oh yeah, Nemo was in it.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, this is a throwback movie for myself, with all these stars I'm looking at. Josh Jallis was in it too. Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
See, I'm hoping with like, so let's talk about Jonathan Majors for a second. Like you mentioned his acting, like him staying with the people. Can we just say that like this man is an incredible actor who needs more respect? Because like
he brings so much emotion to this film too, and with all his other projects.
He, like Glen Powell, he's no slouch either. Like, you know, shout out to him using Spy Kids 3D. Now I remember him now. But like Jonathan Majors, like I feel like that his character I was very invested in. I feel like him and Glen Powell had good chemistry, because I feel like with this movie, like, because it says that the real Hunter, the Hunter and Brown's family were close, so that means they had that sort of respect near the end, and it kind of makes the ending a little bit sadder, knowing that most likely probably happened. But I think what I liked about it is that if you didn't have chemistry between these two, like be that well, I would have not bought that, like, you know, Glen Powell was crying when they had to leave Brown behind. But like seeing that they had great chemistry, I felt that it worked better for them, because you can really see like, oh my god, like that, just like they're pretty much brothers now, like brothers in arms, and you got to leave your brother behind. Like you just feel like a sense of like terrible, like, you know.
Yeah, but everything, you know, you see that part of what happens in the film. We're not really spoiling really anything, because this is what happened from what Tom, how do I put it? From Tom's, you know,
Perspective
perspective of the situation. Thank you. But one other thing too, I should have also mentioned that this film was also based on the book.
Yep, devotion and an act of heroism, friendship, and sacrifice by Adam Makos. You know what sucks about devotion too?
What?
This is a good movie. This is not like I will say there's a little pacing issues, but relatively I had no problems with it. I really was
No, I
entertained.
didn't. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, which moments are really slow, but go ahead.
But I know those moments are needed to like build the characters, and I will appreciate that. But I think what sucks about this is that like it didn't do well in the theaters because its budget was like $90 million, but it made $21.8 million. But it made like it went around the circuits, like the film festival circuits, everything, and like everyone's like, oh, this is good. But like I feel like releasing this in theaters, especially competing with like Black Panther at the end of the year, with
premiered at TIFF, which is huge. You know, got good reviews from there. It
was released alongside Strange World, Glass Onion, The Fablemans, and Bones and All.
Yeah, when you're released up against Glass Onion during that 1 week, and it raised like I think it was like 17 million Glass Onion made in that opening weekend.
Yep.
And then plus the week before was Black Panther.
You're putting it between Black Panther and then like 3 weeks later we had Avatar 2, which like everyone is gonna go see Avatar because like you know that's more appealing to the normal casual audience goer, but not someone who's like a nerd film people like us. Like they'll see devotion, but I really wish they released it because by the time I saw the trailer for it when I went to see Avatar, it was already on Paramount Plus streaming, I think. If I'm not mistaken.
I think it became available like in January. Like
January 8th on Paramount Plus.
Yeah, because I saw the film like the middle of October, so almost a month before the film came out. You know, they were doing so much stuff. Like you know, this is a good thing about Joe Jonas being in the film. I remember Joe Jonas promoting the absolute crap out of it, and nobody went to go see it. And then I probably only saw out of the people I know, maybe like one person see it, and I was like, well,
like imagine this released in January of this year. It actually would have had it would only had to compete with Megan, Missing, and then Plane, and it would have probably been like the top of the box office for the month
for at least a week or two. I think definitely for sure. But I want to recommend everybody, not just because Paramount sent us the movies and not the fact that, you know, I got to see it early from a film festival. Yes, I had some perks to seeing it, but I really like this movie. And I don't think, you know, we get stuff sent to us all the time, but I don't think I would have given this the opportunity to say yes to doing it. So thank you again to Paramount. Mac, let's grade this film and we'll recognize something else that we're doing. So what do you grade Devotion?
So I'm going to go with a letter rating instead of a number rating.
Yeah, do whatever you do.
I'm going to give this movie like an A-.
Oh, wow. You went really high. I'm going.
This is if this movie, like I said, I wish I saw this movie when I did my top 10 best list because it would have made it late. But like, I'm tempted to just maybe say, well, I saw the digital release, so I'll put it on the best 2023 list.
You can do that. I'm going to say, I'm going to give it I'm torn between an A- and a B+, but I'm like an 8 out of 10 scale too, as well, because it just holds it back from a little bit from scenes that I know. And when I rewatched the film today, what scenes also are a little bit too long, and I know what scenes are a little bit slow, but I enjoyed a good majority of this. And I'm going to put out there with my fiance, Dylan also saw this movie with me when we went to go see it at my local film festival, and he also gave it a 8 out of 10 when we talked about it after. So guys, that was our review of Devotion. And not only that, not since the fact that Mac and I got copies, but we were given an extra copy from Paramount, and we are doing a giveaway. So if you would like to own your very own copy of Devotion, you got to do some stuff to get this copy. We're not giving this out for free. No, you got to work for it, folks. You got to head on over to our Instagram page. That's right. I'm going to give you guys the Instagram page so you can do it. And then, Mac, you can just give out the instructions.
Of course, it'll be in the link in the description of the post. But on our most recent post on our M&K Productions podcast post about the giveaway, all you have to do is follow us, like the post, go into the comments, comment your favorite Jonathan Majors and Glen Powell film. tag a friend, and then share the post to your story, and you'll be entered in our giveaway. So we're running this giveaway at the time of this recording. It's March 1st. We'll be doing this giveaway until March 13th, and we will announce the winner a little shortly after that. So
yeah, we will either make a video or post it to our story, or we will do something nice. Go check that out if you would like to own your very own copy. And also, I want to acknowledge it's our first giveaway.
Yes, as our podcast, this will be our first giveaway. If it goes well, we may do some more this year. This may be a year we dive into giveaways. But
and to go to that page, it's M_K_Productions_podcast. So just head on over there, do what Max says. Yep. And now, as we close out this segment, we are about to go into today's main topic, and what I hope you also all came here for. The Oscars. Okay, guys, so moving on from devotion, we are going to discuss the main topic today, and that is the Oscars. And of course, we have to bring on a special guest, of course. You may know him when we talked about the Oscars last year. He was also on for our prom episode, and he is returned for our special 99th episode, and that is the one and only, our favorite, Jackie K. Cook.
Hello.
Yeah.
I'm so glad to be here.
Aren't you happy you're a part of this like special, Jackie?
Yes.
It's so exciting. We are at 99.
That's amazing.
And Mac and I have been talking about the Oscars for how long now, Mac?
Almost 3 years now.
3 years. And we're going to make this extra special. We're going to go over all the major categories. And then, okay, so Jackie, I have to ask you, what did you think of the year 2022 for movies?
What did I think?
Yeah.
I thought it was a horrible year.
Horrible. I thought it was a great year.
Did you? Oh, look, we got a lot to talk about.
Yes, but at least talk about why did you not like it? Was there nothing original or nothing that stood out?
There was a lot original, but original to me does not necessarily mean good.
Mm-hmm.
It just means it's something you haven't seen before, or an aspect you haven't seen before. But I go to the movies. I want to be entertained.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to be entertained. I want to be affected mentally, emotionally, however. And I don't know. It was like somebody said, oh, the pandemic wasn't depressing enough. Let's make it all depressing. Let's give them some depressing movies.
Let's start off our first Oscar category we are going to discuss, and that is the category of, do you want to do Best Animated Feature Film, Mac? Do you want to do that one first, since you really want to do that one?
Yes, so Best Animated Feature Film. We have Guillermo del Toro.
Is Turning Red the only Disney movie on the list?
Yes.
How about that?
That is which is a huge surprising factoid of that, because I felt like the year for Disney was it was a bad year for Disney for 2022. It was not a good year, I will say, in terms of the animated features. Like, I don't think I actually saw any of the animated really features. Like, I didn't get to see Lightyear, and I didn't want to see Turning Red. Turning Red was the one that kind of
Lightyear was okay. It was more like no one really asked for a Lightyear movie, and it was just there. Turning Red was just like, that's when you try to get too artsy with animation. Like I say, animation is a form of storytelling, and I love it. But there's ways to do it, and there's other ways to kind of feel like just nothing. It didn't really do it for me. Especially like seeing it as a Pixar movie. That's really like, damn, like Pixar, like what are you doing?
And there's been better from Pixar.
Yeah.
So Jackie,
much better.
What do you think will win, and who do you want to win in the category of Best Animated Feature Film?
I think Marcel the Shell with Shoes On is going to win.
Oh, okay.
I really do. Yeah, I think it's got good buzz on it. It's won some other awards. It's just name recognition for one thing. But my choice is Puss in Boots. I love Puss in Boots.
I loved Puss in Boots. That was one of my favorite films I got to watch over the Christmas break that I had, and I laughed my butt off.
I thought that Antonio Banderas and Salma Hayek were the perfect voice actors for those roles.
Yeah.
And I thought it was better than the first Puss in Boots film, too.
I did too. This was the best. And I went into it, Mac and I were talking a while ago about seeing movies where you walk in and don't expect much. I didn't expect that much. I thought, okay, Puss in Boots, we'll go see it. I was blown away.
Yeah. The animation was really good. I enjoyed
Yeah.
the story. It was all really
Had,
a
you know,
lot of fun.
and a lot of positive messages out of that film.
Yeah, there was.
Mhm.
Mac, what do you think is going to win? And who do you want to win?
See, I agree with you guys that Puss in Boots was awesome. Hashtag bring back Shrek 5. But
We're
my
working
money,
on it.
I want Marcel to show what she's on, but looking at this list and who has the highest chance, they'll probably give it to Guillermo del Toro for Pinocchio, because that one pretty much, when you make a Pinocchio movie that has everyone forgetting the last two Pinocchio movies that came out in the same year, I think that you are doing what right. But we all know probably Turning Red's gonna win because it's Pixar. So even if it's anything,
Don't say that.
I feel like
don't say that.
Turning Red's
Don't
gonna
say
win
that.
just because it's Pixar. And like the messages were so strong. It's like, oh my gosh. It's like that's like my sphere right now.
I think it's gonna go to Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. I really also loved Pinocchio. It was like in my top 20 films of the year, along with Puss in Boots. Both great films, but it's gonna go to, I think, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. And I just heard he's actually going to be working on another stop motion film.
I hope so.
So he's gonna.
Have y'all ever been around a stop motion movie? Any time in the making of a stop motion movie?
I got to make one when I went to like a film camp.
I'm telling you, I visited. I can't think. Well, gosh. Nightmare Before Christmas. Who did that?
No, Henry Selick did it. Tim Burton was producer.
Who was the director? Because I went out to San Francisco and Tim Burton, we got to visit the set and they showed us how you make a stop motion movie. And I mean, it's like you go in and you move this thing an inch and then you move this one an inch. It took forever.
Yeah, it takes a long time.
Me crazy. I mean, just drawing animation is one thing, but just moving a pen this much, and then filming it and moving it here. And you've got to do all those things at the same time. It's amazing.
I have a passion for stop motion animation. I could watch people like puzzle out each scene for like days. I think it's very, very interesting to me, especially looking at storyboards for it and knowing how they have to translate that in real life. It's so fascinating to me. I always love watching like little like YouTube videos that they put out. Like I remember like even when I hate to use this example because I think it's the weakest stop motion movie, but Missing Link, at the very end, I remember seeing at the end credits the people working on it and putting the whole film together. And I was like, okay, I didn't love Missing Link, but I love watching people put it together. It's a unique art form that I feel like that goes under the radar sometimes.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
That's why I like a lot of art and animation back in the day, especially the Curse of the Walls of Garment movies, because there's something about that style just very like you have to have very care and patience in crafting the story you want visually, or like something like Paranormal, which is like one of my favorite stop motion films of all time.
I do like Paranormal too.
Like it's great, or even like back in the day when I watched old Lego, like what got me into film was watching people make Lego movies on YouTube and then like stop motion. I'm like, okay, that looks hard. That's just kind of a cool just animation process. And it doesn't really get talked about a lot because it's just like, studios like, no, we need money, we need time, you need to hurry up and everything. So it's like not a lot of effort and care for those anymore.
Yeah, but
it's really a unique way of making film.
It is
amazing.
All right, moving on to our next category, and we're going to move into the screenplay category. And the first up we're going to talk about is best adapted screenplay, and the nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, based on the novel by Enrique Maria Reque. I think I'm saying that name right or wrong. Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery. The character is based on Benoit Blanc and the film Knives Out by Rain Johnson. Living, based on the film A Cure. Top Gun Maverick, based on the characters from Top Gun by Tim Cash and Jack Epps Jr. And Women Talking, based on the novel by Miriam Toews. And that screenplay is by Sarah Pauly. So we'll start off with Jackie. Who do you want to win and who do you think will win?
When I first heard about Women Talking, I thought this is going to be the dullest movie I ever sat through because it's just going to be in a hayloft or in a barn, 5, 6, however many women talking, one man. And I thought, there's no way this can hold my interest. And that movie held my interest because of the dialogue from beginning to end, because there was no action. It was all the women talking. And if the dialogue was not pitch perfect, the movie would not have worked at all. So think it's going to win, want it to win.
I completely agree with the same thing. I got to see Woman Talking through a screener, and I was very intrigued the whole time.
Mhm.
And it reminded me of the way, 12 Angry Men was, like
Yes.
in that sense, where the dialogue was point on. They were talking about the serious subject matter, and it felt like Sarah Polley may have taken inspiration of that, but just put it out, God, like years later, and it's like her version of that, taking a serious subject matter and bringing it to light, and with the performances of it all and the dialogue you said is just it's pitch perfect, honestly, the way everything is done in that barn. I loved every single minute all those women were together, and you could see they really were able to go off of each other, and the drama of that movie was so intense. So I would love it.
Every character was so unique.
Each one really
Even
was unique.
The aspect of their conversation.
Mhm.
It was like, here's this viewpoint. No, here's this viewpoint. No, here's this viewpoint. And in your mind, you could identify them by what they said, in addition to watching them visually.
Mhm.
And I just think that's brilliant.
Yeah, so I completely agree with that. I was thinking about it for a few days. I was like, maybe Glass Onion could win because of Rain Johnson and his long credibility. He hasn't really won an Oscar just yet. It's been, it's like maybe it's his time, but I do think he is a better writer than director, in my opinion. So it could go to him, but I do think it's going to go to Women Talking. And
Now
Mac.
we got to hear the Mac attack.
Yeah, Mac Attack.
Listen, we all know what we want to win is Top Gun Maverick. Like,
I would love to see Top Gun Maverick win too, but
the Top Gun
It's not
Maverick.
going to happen.
I know that's like more of like the popular pick, but I still feel like I think I'm gonna go with All Quiet on the Western Front.
I mean, it's not a bad decision to pick that one because it was so beloved at the BAFTAs and won so many awards at BAFTA, including,
So hard to get through.
Is it?
To me, it was. It was just, it was so full of horror, of war, etc. It was just an ordeal to get through the movie for me. I'd love to see Top Gun get anything that it could get.
I'm still angry how it didn't get a cinematography nomination.
Best song.
Yes, I would love it to win Best Song over Not to, honestly.
Would too.
But yeah.
The video, Lady Gaga's video for that song is so choreographed between the music and the actions. It's unbelievable, just fantastic.
She's just an unbelievable talent. She knows how to write the music, and the way she got to team up with Hans Zimmer, and the two of them just created wonders together. It's like the way she does with Tony Bennett, in my opinion. Yes. They're both great.
Have y'all both seen the video?
Yes, I love it.
I have not seen that video.
I saw it when it premiered.
Have you seen that?
No, I have not.
Okay. At one point, Kristen, you can back me up on this.
Mm-hmm.
She's playing the piano, and she gets to the most intense part of the song, and she plays the piano with her elbow.
Yeah, Lady Gaga is talented. I love that woman.
It's just a fantastic thing.
She's so good. I really would love her to see her win, but all right, Mac, you want to go on to the next category, which is Best Original Screenplay. Do you want to read off the nominees?
All right, so Best Original Screenplay, we have The Banshees of
Inisherin.
Thank you. Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans, Tar, and Triangle of Sadness. And I will say, I want Everything Everywhere All at Once to win so badly. Oh my gosh, please.
That film is a wild ride, and I love that film.
Uh-oh,
Jackie, did we hit a nerve?
No.
All right, what are your thoughts about Everything Everywhere All at Once then?
Let me tell you, when you ask me what do I want to win,
mm-hmm.
I would say Tony Kushner and Steven Spielberg, because I actually liked that film. I didn't think it was one of the best movies of the year, hardly, because I thought Steven Spielberg's name getting tacked on it. But Tar, Everything All at Once, Banshees, and particularly Triangle of Sadness were
he just threw down the gauntlet right there. Holy crap.
I think the one that is the odd one is Triangle of Sadness, but Triangle of Sadness was at Cannes in 2022. got one of the big awards.
What dialogue do you have to write when somebody all they're doing is throwing up?
Glitter. Someone thought it was genius work. It's like the one thing I noticed more coming out of Hollywood is like this idea of the rich, but people who I feel like are also making these big budget movies are also rich people as well. So I'm like, they're like, oh, we're going to stick it to the man and the higher upper class. But then you have people like Leonardo DiCaprio who are flying on private jets, and I'm just like, well, you're not saying much if your actions don't speak louder than words.
That's true.
Well, even in Triangle of Sadness, I really liked Dolly Leon.
Oh, yeah.
Her performance, I thought was terrific. I really was excited. Who was the male lead, the model?
Harris Dickinson. I think that was, he was Carl.
I was expecting great things from him, and I felt like he was bland all the way through the movie.
I didn't like it. I didn't love it either. I just was like, after I watched it. Like it's my least favorite one out of everything that's nominated. Like I understand why it's recognized, but I'm just like, there was like so many other great films like that we could have recognized. I would have liked to seen original screenplay if they just replaced Triangle of Sadness with The Menu, which I think is a similar kind of beat for the film, rich and class. I think that would have been better, I think, in my opinion.
Probably because The Menu came out so late in the year, didn't really have time to get traction until.
Well, no, it did. It did because Ray Fiennes got nominated for his performance.
Well, I mean, it didn't get enough to like make that Oscar buzz that because like a lot of movies that have that problem when they come out in December, there's kind of like you'll get nominated for something, but it won't be like maybe The Big Boys because you're so late. Like you didn't have enough time to build up that case for Academy Award winning.
But Mac, what you're saying is right. There's that thing of perfect timing because if it comes out too early in the year, they forget it by the end of the year, and if it comes out too late in the year, then they don't have time to get the buzz up.
Good points. Who I want to win? It's a tie between like Todd Field, the Daniels, and Martin McDonagh. I loved all three different screenplays in a unique ways possible, but if I'm gonna pick one over the other, I'm gonna pick Banshees. But I think who's gonna win is Banshees.
Yeah, Banshee's gonna clean up.
I think Everything Everywhere All at Once is gonna win.
Interesting.
I do too.
I wouldn't be angry if the Daniels won. I think the Daniels are gonna have a big night this Oscar.
I hope so.
Season. I mean, they're having a great year itself. I mean, they
up till now. So
I mean, look at the SAG Awards.
Yes.
Literally in each category, in the acting categories, except for
Brendan Fraser
winning for Best Actor.
Yes,
we will get to soon. Everybody took home an award from Everything Everywhere All at Once in the acting categories, which we will talk about later. But yeah, I think we got to everybody that said who will win and who we want to win. So all right, moving on to the next category, and we will do Best Director before we move into the acting categories. And the nominees for Best Director are Todd Fields for Tar, the Daniels for Everything Everywhere All at Once, Martin McDonagh, Banshees of Inisherin, Ruben Östlund for Triangle of Sadness, Steven Spielberg for The Fabelmans. And Jackie, why don't you start us off? Who do you want to win, and who do you think is going to win?
I will go with my old Steven Spielberg. He has the touch. He did it. I think that movie, that script in anybody else's hands would have just been a run-of-the-mill movie. He knew where to put that emphasis. He brought in Judd Hirsch just for a cameo to brighten up the scene. I really did. Do I think he's going to win? No. I think the Daniels are going to win. And, this would... Everything Everywhere All at Once I wasn't thrilled with all of the different multiverses you got into and all the chaos that was done, but it was brilliantly directed.
I love the tag team that the two were able to like mesh together and really create the universe.
Yeah.
All right, Mac, what do you think, and who do you want to win?
So I want to win. I want, of course, Daniels for Everything Everywhere at Once, but going with the safe bet and knowing previous history, it's probably going to go to Spielberg.
I also said the same thing. I think I would love it to see to go to the Daniels because like what we saw with Everything Everywhere All at Once, the film is so daring. It's very unique. And I love the way those two minds were able to mesh up and create something that many audiences don't see, and the way that they handled everything with such care and really keep audiences interested in. They did great wonders with that film. So I would love it to see go to the Daniels. However, I also I'm going to go with the safe bet and say The Fabelmans for Steven Spielberg, because Steven Spielberg is so beloved by the Academy. And this was a movie about his life. It's his life story. And people at the Academy also tend to like history pieces because it's also a history piece. So I think it's going to go to Steven.
It's hard for me to hear, Kristen, since I lived through all of that. That means
really
my history goes way back.
I mean, my parents were around too then. So am
Listen, the first movie I remember seeing, get this, was The Greatest Show on Earth. And
I remember you saying that in one of our episodes.
And what was the first movie that Sammy Fabelman saw in The Fabelmans?
The Greatest Show?
The Greatest Show on Earth.
Great things, because people were able to connect with that film, and I guess including you, Jackie.
Yeah, so. I could. I just think that the push is on for Everything Everywhere All at Once. I think all the signs, the push, the buzz is all coming together for that film.
It is.
Yeah.
So Jackie, I wanted to ask you, since you weren't crazy about the year 2022 for films, is there a director you think that you may have saw a film last year that should have been nominated?
I think Gina Blythe, who did The Woman King.
Oh yeah.
I thought she did an amazing job.
The Woman King was so good.
It was so good. I thought, oh, come on. Viola Davis can do anything. And I just thought the way that whole movie was handled, I thought the story, the way it was presented, it was just everything again came together, and I was just surprised that she wasn't nominated.
Yeah, I mean, she got recognized by the Critics' Choice.
I'm a member.
She was recognized for that. I remember her being one of the nominees from that long list, because there was a lot of women who were nominated in that for the directing of that, for that award show. But definitely The Woman King could have been recognized, I think, a little bit more here.
Absolutely.
So was that also a favorite of yours for 2022?
It was. I really liked The Woman King. I really did. I thought it was well done, and it was a look at history, that actually occurred. Yeah, that had never been discovered or had not been discovered on film.
Yeah. Did you see The Woman King in theaters? Because I didn't get to.
I did. Yes.
And I heard people say it was like a great theater going experience because the action was remarkable in that film. One of my best friends, he went to go see it like 4 times. I loved even watching it at home. I just couldn't get over the action that Viola Davis was able to pull off.
I know. And completely credibly.
Mac, did you see The Woman King yet?
Nope.
Oh, Mac, you're missing out. It's really good. I highly recommend it. All right, but moving on to, let's get into the
why I think Spielberg will win. It's his makeup from West Side Story, because West Side Story was.
I love West Side Story.
It was not Oscar worthy.
Yes, it was.
He was trying his hardest to make that his Oscar movie. So this is his makeup. And they're like, all right, here you go, Steve. This is it.
I feel like a ping pong ball, because I'm agreeing with Kristen on something, and then I'm agreeing with Mac. I didn't think West Side Story was that great either.
I love it. Let's move on to the acting categories. Mac, why don't you kick it off with Best Actor in a Supporting Role?
All right, so Best Supporting Actor, we got Brendan Gleeson from The Banshees of Inisherin.
Good enough.
We got Brian Terry Henry from Causeway, Judd Hirsch from The Fabelmans, Barry Keoghan from The Banshees, Kogan, and Ke Kwan from Everything Everywhere All at Once. Ke Kwan from Everything Everywhere All at Once.
All good nominations, I think, in my opinion. So we started off with Jackie last time. Mac, who do you think is going to win?
It's going to be Brendan Gleeson by a long mile.
You think so, and not Ke Kwan? I
want him, but this probably not, because they're going to go with Brendan Gleeson because, he's more, the name. And I think he may be like a dark horse. He may be like the second, maybe front runner, but I feel like Brendan Gleeson is probably going to take it.
Right.
You don't think that Barry Keoghan and Brendan Gleeson are going to split the votes because they're both in the same movie?
I
That's
mean,
true.
they could split the prize literally in half and go, here you go, friend. But Jackie, your thoughts. Who do you think will win and who do you want to win?
Well, as much as I did not like the Banshees of Inisherin, I'm going to go that I would like to see Barry Keoghan win because I thought he was amazing in that movie.
Barry
Really,
Keoghan is so good, and he had a great year for 2022. He was, just coming off the ride of, the Internals. He
The
got to make
Eternals.
a appearance in the Batman as the Joker, and then he got to star in, Banshees of Inisherin, and he was
and
the
he
best
stood
star.
out in that film.
He's great in that film, and he actually just won the BAFTA over Ke Kwan, which I thought was mind-blowing to me. Like, I was like, wow, this is actually the first award that I didn't really see Ke Kwan win, but who knows?
I think Ke Kwan will win the Oscar though.
Yeah.
I think that there's just a buzz on for Everything Everywhere All at Once, and they're just going to sweep right in unless there's a big change in the temperature between now and March 17th.
Yeah. I think it's going to go to Ke Kwan because of all the work that he did. He retired for a very long time. Yeah.
Dropped out of movies completely.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Cut off of work because he couldn't get the jobs that he wanted or find any work. And then all of a sudden he got the work for the Daniels, and now he's going to be in Loki season 2.
That's crazy because he retired, and apparently Michelle Yeoh said, I think when someone told that she should retire before she did Everything Everywhere Once, that was kind of like a career renaissance movie for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But when I saw Everything Everywhere All at Once, it did not dawn on me that the husband was the kid from Indiana.
I didn't know that either.
I didn't know that either until after I was like, I gotta
afterwards,
do
it was like,
research on
"Whoa!"
this. Yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, this kid was in everything. And ironically, he worked with Brendan Fraser, who we're going to talk about in a little bit.
Yeah.
So, but I think it's going to go to Ke Kwan, and I want it to go to Ke Kwan. I think he's, like, out of all the performances, they're all good, but the best of the best, I think, is Ke Kwan. I think he is going to be awarded for, he's just beloved. And I think he was, like, even over Michelle Yeoh, he was, like, my favorite performance in that film.
Yeah.
But, I don't know if y'all agree with this or not, but with the Oscars, it's not always the best.
Mm-hmm.
It's the story behind the best.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the nice part about it. Sometimes I like to recognize the work of the person over, like, sometimes the role that they have, which can be debated about. But knowing I think it's gonna go to Ke Kwan, and just the work that he had done, it would be nice to see him take home the award. All right, moving on to our next acting category, and that is Best Supporting Actress. And the nominees are Angela Bassett for Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Jamie Lee Curtis for Everything Everywhere All at Once, Terry Coden for Banshees of Inisherin, Stephanie Hensu for Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Hung Chow for The Whale. All right, Jackie, give us your thoughts. Who do you want to win and who you want to win?
I would really like to see Jamie Lee Curtis win it because I'm a big Jamie Lee Curtis for all these years.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think she's going to win. And I think Angela Bassett is probably going to win it. But also, I want to get a plug in. I thought Hung Chow was terrific.
Oh my gosh, she's outstanding. That's my favorite performance of hers.
The backbone of that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as good as I think Brendan Fraser is in the film, if he didn't have her to bounce off of, there'd be so much lacking in that movie.
She's brilliant in that film.
Yeah.
Mac, who do you want to win? Who do you think will win?
So if we're talking about the story behind the win, it's probably going to go to Angela Bassett because let's face it, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, it was good for what it was, for what they had to work with and everything. I feel like that just making a movie that was at least kind of would be seen as the second best movie of Phase 4 of Marvel. And I will say Angela Bassett, her performance, like, she had me on the edge of my seat. I was crying sometimes when because think about that performance because Chadwick Boseman passed away, so I feel like a lot of the emotions in that film had a lot of genuine feelings around it. So like when she said, "I lost my son," and I felt that in her role, and it was like raw and visceral. And I think that I'm like, it made me remember, like, oh, she's actually a tremendous actress. I've been like, I've forgotten about her, like, because I just see her do 911. I'm like, oh, she's gonna get that TV money, but no, she put in a performance. And seeing that this is the first Marvel actress to be nominated for any acting award, like this, if it wins, this will open the floodgates to have more people in superhero. She's gonna open the floodgates for more people to adaptation movies and superhero movies to be nominated for Best Actor.
Mm-hmm.
She is so regal.
Yes.
She is. I mean, she is one of the best parts about Black Panther Wakanda Forever, honestly, and gives the best performance in that film, hands down. But my choice, if I could give the award to anybody, I would love to give it to Hong Chow, because honestly, that's my favorite.
That makes me feel good. Thank you. I love that. I loved her performance.
I love everything about The Whale, but I'm so torn because at this point it's been now Jamie Lee Curtis who won the SAG, and then Angela who won the Golden Globe. I was really set on Angela winning, but then Jamie, because sometimes if you win the SAG, that means you're gonna win the Oscar.
Yep.
So if we're talking about, they both been in the industry for so long, they both done amazing work. I would love to, I think in my heart, because there was also going to be this idea of politics, if they really want to get Marvel into the continuation of the Academy, they're going to give it to Angela. So I think it's going to go to Angela. So I'm going to write off a Mac. But I do want to say this.
So you're all three. We're all three on it.
Jamie Lee Curtis is not as good as Stephanie Hensue in Everything Everywhere All at Once. I think Stephanie Hensue is better than Jamie Lee Curtis in that film. And
we have to mention, though, that Kerry Condon was a really strong part.
She was a really strong part in Banshees. She was also the glue that held that film together of what, the back and forth between Brendan Gleeson and what Colin Farrell do. The two of them, they're going back and forth. And, she's like the messenger, and she's just great in that film. This is another tough category, I think, in my opinion. So, all right, Mac, moving on. Do you want to do let's do this one I really want to talk about. So do Best Actor.
Okay, so Best Actor, we got Austin Butler, who was Elvis in the Elvis Presley biopic movie. We got Colin Farrell in The Banshees, of course. Brendan Fraser, the Fraser Laser, as Charlie in the Whale. Paul Mescal in After Sun, and Bill Nighy from Living. From Mr. Rod Williams. So, of course, we know here on this podcast, we support Brendan Fraser, and I cried watching The Whale. I loved it. And seeing him take home the SAG Award last night brought a tear in my eye of happiness, as I have The Mummy on in the background as I'm recording right now. But I want Brendan Fraser to win so badly.
So you think he will win?
I think he'll win, because this is like, when we're talking about the story, the amount of stuff he's been through to get to this point to where he's being nominated for Best Acting Award, I think that he probably has the most compelling story out of everyone in the Oscars this year, because like literally the whole personal struggles he was going through, and then he had his big break. He came back with Doom Patrol, and then he started getting more momentum, and he got cast in more roles, and then he did this movie, and then we won't see him in Batgirl. Well, maybe we'll never say never with unreleased projects, but I think like seeing everything he's gone through to get to this point, it's just very more great. And then how he's like loved and everything, it just has to be like, it will be like the top off the story of redemption and getting back into the mainstream. So I think Brendan Fraser is going to take it.
And can you really think of any other actor who could have played that part except him?
Well, there was a thing about James Corden almost being.
No,
remember I told you that about that, Mac?
Yeah. That movie would have sucked. Even if it's Darren Aronofsky, your script can still be ruined from a terrible lead.
Oh god. Oh god. All right. I think we can all agree. We all want Brendan Fraser to win.
But I think if anybody's going to beat Brendan Fraser, it's going to be Austin Butler.
Yeah, that's the tough one. I think
he's lurking there in the background, thinking, is it my move? Is it my move? Is it my move?
I mean, he was ready to go up the stage last night. If you watched the SAG Awards, he was helping all the ladies get up the stairs.
I
And
saw him help Sally Field get up there, the whole thing.
yeah, it was funny. He was like, he was ready. I
Here
thought he was gonna
am.
push
I'm
over the.
here. I'm
Yeah, he was ready to
here.
push over anybody. You're like, move. Let me get my award.
But I do think, he's one of you, and I think he's a big competition.
He is big competition. I mean,
But I don't think his performance is anywhere near Brendan Fraser.
no, absolutely. I would even say Colin Farrell's performance is better than Austin Butler's.
Mm.
But that's my opinion.
I like Colin Farrell, but I'm glad he's getting like more respect nowadays with his acting. But it was cool. It was fun. It was fine what he did.
I do think Austin Butler will win an Oscar for something one day. I just don't think it's Elvis. I'll eat crow if Austin Butler wins.
I did not think Elvis was, to be honest, when I had no expectation for Elvis because I was scared because like I'm not even a Baz Luhrmann fan. I did like The Great Gatsby and that's it, but I didn't expect Elvis to be like Oscar worthy.
It gave the same effect as Bohemian Rhapsody did.
Gave it the same effect as Moulin Rouge.
But like in terms of like the award season, I should clarify this and say it for the award season because Elvis is nominated for the editing, and the editing in Elvis is atrocious.
It's like a Baz Luhrmann film. What do you expect?
It's his trademark.
Yeah.
Yeah, then that is true. Baz Luhrmann isn't the one, for his direct editing. But the one I want to win, it's no stranger to me. If you know me as a person, I'm going to be rooting for Brendan Fraser. I do have I'm with Jackie. Austin Butler could sneak his way in here.
That's scary.
And take it, which is scary, but
he's gonna talk in his Elvis voice when he
imagine, and then he's gonna drop it as soon as award season's over. Now that he gets his Oscar,
he's gonna drop what?
His Elvis voice.
Yeah.
All right.
He's gonna swagger up if he wins.
Yeah, just swagger up. Honestly,
do a little move.
Jackie, did you know he dated Vanessa Hudgens?
I did not know that.
And she was the one to convince Austin Butler to star as Elvis.
I remember that because it was years ago when I heard that Austin Butler was going to play Elvis, and I thought, who is he? And then I remember it was like Vanessa Hudgens recommended him, blah, blah, blah. But he's now dating Kaya Gerber. Do y'all know who that is?
Yes.
Cindy Crawford's
young daughter. And
yes.
The ironic thing is, if you go online, Jackie, I don't know if you've seen this photo, but Cindy Crawford took a young Kaya Gerber to the premiere of High School Musical 2.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, it all links together.
And Kaya Gerber got to meet Vanessa Hudgens.
Said, have I got a date for you?
Just wait a few years, honey. You're going to have a new boyfriend.
I see it in the future. I see it in the future.
Yeah, it's really funny. You got to look at the image. It's just like, I just wanted to recognize that in a pop culture moment in history.
That's funny.
All right, moving on. Best actress, the most controversial one, the hot topic one. You don't know about the one actress?
Oh, wait. Okay, I'm seeing it. Is it Ana de Armas as blonde?
Hold on. We'll get there.
Oh, yeah. Whoops. I mean, who's that?
We got the nominees are Kate Blanchett, who starred as Linda Tarr in Tar, Ana de Armas, who starred as Norma Jean, Marilyn Monroe in Blonde, Andrea Riseborough for To Leslie as Leslie Rollins, Michelle Williams in The Fabelmans as Missy Shapard. Fableman. All right. And then Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once as Evelyn Kwan Wang. All right. Jackie, who do you want to win and who do you think will win?
I want Michelle Yeoh. Michelle Yeoh, because I think it's her time. She's put in all the effort in her career, leading to this. She had to play several different aspects of herself in that film and of the character. I thought it all came together.
Mm-hmm.
I want her to win, but I think it's like Austin Butler. Kate Blanchett is standing there saying, not so quick, Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
This is mine.
Yeah, I could see her.
I think she'll win.
I mean, we could see like in the way of like when Viola Davis was nominated for The Help, and then that was the year Meryl Streep one for the Iron Lady, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's gonna go to Viola Davis. It's gonna go to Viola Davis." Nope, it went to Meryl Streep, who was like a 3-time winner now, and Kate Blanchett could be a 3-time winner now, also like Meryl Streep.
Right.
So they could do one of those.
And she was great in Tar.
Yeah, she's great in Tar. It's hard to say which one I love. Like at the time, like I was like, "Oh, I don't know which performance I love more," but then I was like, "Nah, I gotta give it to Michelle." The more I thought about it, so.
Have y'all, this is way before your time, but have you ever seen the movie Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon?
Yeah.
Yes.
Michelle Yeoh is so great in that movie.
She's so good in that film.
Yes, yes, she's amazing. And you look at her career and the evolution that it's made, and then her in this role. It's her time. It's her time.
It's definitely, it's been her time to shine for a long time, and I'm happy it's this moment in this film that's recognizing her for that talent. So I think it's gonna go to her, and that's the one I want to win. Mac, what are your thoughts, and who do you want to win?
First of all, why the hell is Ana de Armas nominated for Marilyn Monroe?
I was asking myself the same thing, and I said to myself, why isn't Margot Robbie not nominated for Babylon?
Because no one saw Babylon except for us.
I like Babylon.
Ana de Armas, or whatever her name is, looked really good in Blonde.
She looked good, but the performance itself was not good.
I've never seen a movie get nominated for Worst Picture and Worst Director at the Razzies, yet has their main star be nominated for a Best Acting Performance. That's a new one. Jackie,
did you see Blonde?
Oh, yes.
What did you think?
I thought it was okay. Wasn't great. I didn't think it was terrible. I didn't think she was terrible. I thought she looked the part. She acted the part. I thought the script was haywire.
I'm not a fan of Blonde because it's not a true biopic.
No, it's based on what? A novel.
A novel of the same thing, and takes the character. Like, what bothers me is the idea of this woman getting a notable figure getting sexually assaulted, in a film. It's just does not sit right with me. And knowing that Marilyn Monroe had no say in this film or even the book that was published, it just.
What do you mean they went to her grave and asked?
Oh yeah, that's right. They spoke to the Marilyn Monroe ghost and said, "Yeah,
she said it was okay. It's okay. Yeah, you can talk to a ghost, and that means it's good." But
God.
But I think Michelle Yeoh's gonna win. Like, I really want her to win. Like, oh my gosh, dude, she put that movie on her Everything Everywhere All at Once on her back, and I think she played in a movie that I think did the multiverse better well than Marvel's doing now. Let that sink in.
What I like is with Michelle Yeoh in this movie, just think somebody at some part in the concept of this film said, why don't we try to get Michelle Yeoh? And then it was just like the perfect blend. Just like somebody said, hey, we got this movie called The Whale. Perhaps that actor, Brendan Fraser, I bet he'd be good. I mean, brilliant things happen. People... And to me, those are the instances. I don't think Ana de Armas was born to play Marilyn Monroe.
No.
But I didn't think she was terrible.
I understand. Yeah. I think we can all agree it's going to go to Michelle Yeoh.
It
has to. All right. So now we're going to move on to our final category, and that is the Best Picture category. Mac, why don't you read off the first 5 films, and I'll read the last 5 films.
All right.
10 nominees.
So we got All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of the Water, The Banshees of Inisherin, the Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and The Fabelmans. Kristen, you can finish it off.
Okay, then we have Tar, Top Gun Maverick, Triangle Sadness, and then Women Talking. So those are our nominees.
How the hell did Avatar get the Best Picture?
That's a good one.
I like Avatar too, but they should nowhere be near Best Picture. This is not 2009. This is 2023.
I mean, it's gonna win the effects categories. I mean, let's face it with that.
Yeah, baby.
I mean, I didn't want to see Avatar, so I am not putting my 2 cents into that one. I mostly seen. Did I see it?
Yeah.
No, I had zero interest. I don't like Avatar to begin with.
I saw it.
Max saw it.
I saw it. I had a great time. I loved it. I felt like time flew. It was just pure entertainment. It amazed me what they could do.
I will say I was like, it had no right to like be as good as it was, because took 13 years. Like I was 10 when the first movie came out. I was in elementary school. I'm now with a person with a full-time job out of college with the second movie finally coming out. And we got 3 more movies coming out. And I'm like, it was fine. I knew it was going to make money. Everyone's like, oh, it's going to bomb. Because, I don't know. There's a lot of growing sentiment of people who really don't like James Cameron anymore. Like he's become the very thing. He's become the villain to like Marvel everyone.
What amazes me is that Will is not on that list.
Whale, I wish was on that list. And I wish, I know Mac, you mentioned it being late, but I wish the Menu was on here. There's a couple of movies I wish that were not on here, and they're not. But Jackie, besides The Whale, what other movies do you think we're missing from this list?
I think I expected Till to be nominated.
Mm-hmm.
I really did. And I think Danielle Deadweiler, who is from Atlanta, Georgia, she was robbed.
She was robbed. That Till movie, I just watched it over the weekend.
She's amazing.
She's amazing in that film.
She is. So I hated that didn't happen. And for a movie like Triangle of Sadness, which I didn't like, it just no. I would love to see The Whale on the list. I would love to see Top Gun get some attention.
Mm-hmm.
I really would, because it was just a good, enjoyable popcorn eating, hollering at the screen type of movie. But I don't think the Banshees is going to win. I think Everything Everywhere is going to win.
Really? I can agree. The same thing. That's the one I want to win, but then I would be like, I wouldn't be mad if they want to give it to the popcorn flick, and that would be Top Gun Maverick. I'm not gonna lie. I love it so much. So I'm rooting for like 2 different movies. Mac, who do you want to win, and who do you think will win?
That's hard because it's hard because I can see there's multiple. I think the one that could shock everyone is if Top Gun Maverick wins.
Mm-hmm.
But
all the Scientologists come out.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna say it's probably gonna be either All Quiet on the Western Front. I'm gonna say probably The Fabelmans. As much as I want Everything Everywhere all at once to win, it's probably gonna be one of those two because it's like what the Academy would want.
They are in. I mean, like what we just saw at the BAFTAs, All Quiet on the Western Front did win one of the biggest prizes of the night, so it could go to that. So
that just doesn't, it just doesn't resonate to me with the people who vote in Hollywood.
Yeah, but I just love the Oscars though, because I see it as my Super Bowl since I am such a movie freak.
My wife cooks me a steak.
I want to go to your house to watch the Oscars.
She makes a delicious meal, and we put it on trays and sit there and watch the Oscars.
Oh, do you have mashed potatoes with that?
Mashed potatoes, green beans, sliced a salad.
You got room for 2 more people?
Come on down. Come on down.
Come
on down to Georgia.
Oh, God.
I can hear it now. Terry, there are 2 people here. 2 more plates.
2 young people are at your door with silverware who want to eat your stuff.
They're sitting there
watch the Oscars.
More, please.
We'll make shirts that say the movie that we want to hear, the movie that we would want to win that year. Just like jerseys that the football players wear it, we'll make shirts.
Absolutely.
Before we end it all, I want to ask you both, what's multiple movie? I can name at least 2 movies I think were robbed of at least cinematography, score, and design. I'm going to say The Batman and Nope.
The Batman and
Nope.
Yeah, Nope had great cinematography and sound. So
I thought Keke Palmer was going to get a nomination.
I would have loved to seen Keke Palmer get recognized, honestly. But Top Gun.
I agree with you on
robbed.
Cinematography. How Top Gun did not get nominated for cinematography, I don't know.
It's baffling to me. Like how could you not? But sound, and the Batman is nominated, but for score it isn't. Visual effects, the Batman is nominated.
But still, there should be others.
Best original score is All Quiet on the Western Front, Babylon, Banshees, Everything Everywhere, and Fabelmans.
Yeah, that I think Top Gun is also missing, because I thought the score in Top Gun was also really good. I mean, get rid of All Quiet on the Western Front and just put in Top Gun Maverick, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, definitely an interesting year for film, I must say, as always. The Academy has favorites. We'll see who wins on March 12th.
Oh my gosh.
And thank you, Jackie, for joining us. One other question for you. What's new with you? Because we didn't even get to talk about what's new on your end. What's going on?
Well, the big thing is that in September, my 8th book will come out.
Oh, is it? Because this is the one that you were going to publish.
I was working on it. I talked to y'all before.
Mhm.
And it's called the Wisdom of Winter.
Wisdom of Winter.
And it'll be available on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, everywhere.
We're going to order it. We're going to have you back on. And what else is going on? Have you seen any good movies as of right now for 2023?
I'm trying to think what I've seen.
I know there hasn't been much though, but
it hasn't been much. You know, this past weekend I saw Jesus Revolution and Cocaine Bear. Have y'all seen Cocaine Bear?
No.
Seen it this week.
It surprised me how funny it was. It was hilarious. It's one of those movies that I think if I see it the second time, I'll like it even better because I won't be covering my eyes when the bear comes out killing people.
wow.
But Elizabeth Banks directed and she did a great job with it. And it was fun.
Excellent.
It's just been a crazy start to the year.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't really seen anything that stood out yet either, but Mac, we got to get ready for Scream.
Yeah.
Weekend.
Yeah, March 12th, the weekend of
It's next weekend. I thought
March
it was
11th.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's a week from this Friday.
Yes, a week from
I don't
this
know when
Friday,
it is.
Scream. I'm excited. Mac, you're going to be excited. We're going to be talking about that film soon. So,
Is Jenna Ortega in this one too?
yes.
Yes.
She is, and we'll see if she's in the next one because I'm sure there's going to be another one after this one.
Well,
Oh,
I
yes,
saw
yeah,
the
this was-
trailer, and just quickly, I thought I saw the girl from 1883, the TV series, blonde girl.
Samara Weaving, is that what you're thinking of? Because she's
No,
in this.
Hey, no, I think maybe Hayden Panettiere.
No. I can't think of this girl's name. But she was in 1883, and she was great. And
Melissa Barrera is in it from In the Heights, but
and Courtney Cox.
I
is
didn't
in it.
see 1883 yet though, but I want to watch it.
It was good.
My dad thought it was good too. He was into it, but I was surprised last night Sam Elliott won. Dang, Sam Elliott won, which
Good.
was unexpected. I love Sam Elliott.
That was, you know, I hadn't heard any indication that he was going to win.
I didn't think he realized he was going to win either. I think he was even shocked he won.
Like,
Yeah.
what?
But
No,
he was handsome
I like
last
Sam
night. He
Elliott.
looked good. Gave his award. I liked it. But yeah, Mac, this has been our 99th episode.
99.
We need like fireworks. But Mac, what are we doing for our 100th episode? That are you excited about?
100 episode. We got all stars. We got all stars from my Xbox friend to a cosplayer on TikTok that I'm friends with, to two of our good buddies who we had on recently the episode. We're gonna be talking about every single Star Wars movie. It's gonna be the big 100 because we said, like I mentioned before, there was a promise I made to myself and my old co-host. If we hit 100 episodes, we tried to do a Star Wars episode back in the day. It didn't work out because we lost the audio recording, but hey, we're going to do it again, and it's going to be a nightmare to edit. But I'm so excited. We're going to have a panel of all-stars here, and I'm just so excited. And we're probably going to do a clip show. It's going to be me editing. It's like, man, remember that one clip of the podcast? Play that clip. Roll Arthur flashbacks. All right, yeah, that was a good clip. All
Yeah,
right,
thank
moving
God
on.
I'm not editing this.
Yeah, that'll be a fun episode for me.
Well, I'm proud of y'all. 100
Oh, thank you, Jackie.
Thank you.
We wouldn't have been able to do the show with people like you without you. You are amazing and we love you. We love your content and what you do. So thank you for always being a supporter of us because we love being a supporter of you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Alrighty, guys. So we will see you all for the 100th episode. Enjoy the Oscars and we will see you next time. Bye.
Peace.
Same shit, you ain't in my lane, bitch. Nah, all that shit it fits, rollie on my wrist. Ay, baby, you a star, I'm my only wish. cash, I'm counting blue hundreds, I'm too money. Ay, and my little bitch, she too lovely. Yeah, hanging up and calling me right back. Ay, baby, why you calling me like that? Yeah, getting high with the seat laid back. Baby, gon' relax, yeah. Hey, they don't know the half, and no matter what happened, I got your back. Baby, that's the facts, yeah. That's the facts, yeah.